So besides the Arduino, another important component to my indoor farming project is the Raspberry Pi, which you can see right here. This is pretty much a fully functioning mini computer. It runs an operating system. You can hook it up to a screen and keyboard and mouse, and you can use it just like you would a normal computer. It runs a Linux-like operating system, so it gives you all the functionality of Linux systems, which is pretty convenient. As you can see, I don't have this plugged into a screen or anything. I have it actually plugged into my router, and what that does is it allows me to access it remotely. And to do that, I use a secure shell program called PuTTY. You can download for Windows. And I actually opened up the port on my router so I could access this from outside of my home network if I needed to. And that caused some security issues. So if you do something like that, you want to make sure, definitely at the least, have a very strong password and username other than the basic ones that you automatically get when you start up your Raspberry Pi. But I added more security by using a private key access, and that means that somebody can't log into my Raspberry Pi unless they have a special key that's generated. To do that, I use a program called Pagent on my Windows computer. And then finally, I wanted to be able to transfer files that I worked on my computer into my Raspberry Pi. So I have a file transfer program called PSCP that I can also use. So it's really convenient being able to just access this from anywhere and run the command line remotely. So one of the things that I'm using this for is I'm hosting a website using Apache, and eventually for my farming project this will be useful because I'll be collecting data from an Arduino, and through serial connection to the Arduino to the Raspberry Pi, it'll collect data and it'll put it in a database, and then that database will present information. I'm planning on having graphs and whatnot on my website. And then from that website, the user will also be able to update settings for the Arduino system. So they'll be able to choose what time lights and things come on, what moisture levels the soil should be watered at, and things like that. So there'll be more videos coming on how I'm using this Raspberry Pi. I actually have my Arduino plugged into it right now, but I'll talk about that in a different video, what I'm actually using that for. So that's the Raspberry Pi.